Hello again and welcome back. I am Jared Case, curator of film exhibitions at the Dryden Theater and the George Eastman Museum, continuing our recommendations for the best films of 1945. These are the 5 films chosen by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences for their Best Picture category for films from 1945 for the ceremony in 1946. Yesterday we talked about Anchors Aweigh. Today I will tell you about The Bells of St. Mary's, directed by Leo McCarey and starring Bing Crosby and Ingrid Bergman. This film, along with its predecessor Going My Way, relates the episodic adventures of Catholic priest Father Chuck O'Malley, played by Bing Crosby, at 2 different parishes. And while it is certainly interesting that each of these films was nominated for Best Picture and in successive years for different studios, the story of the production of these 2 films occupies a very unique place in Hollywood lore. Now, if I have done my research correctly, and I believe that I have, the story goes something like this. In 1942, McCarey, the writer and director, brings the idea for The Bells of St. Mary's to Crosby. However, Crosby has an exclusive contract with Paramount, and McCarey is working for RKO at that time, so they can't just decide to work together on a new film. Well, a deal got worked out in 1943 or 1944 between Paramount and RKO. And the architect of that deal was B.G. De Silva, who, along with Crosby and McCarey, formed Rainbow Productions, which was the production company that produced Bells of St. Mary's in 1945 for release under the RKO banner, along with Hal Roach Jr. and David Butler. Now, the deal essentially was a trade, where Crosby would be allowed to go to RKO to make Bells of St. Mary's, as long as McCarey came over to Paramount to create a film for them. McCarey's half came first, and when he came over to Paramount, what he did was started writing Going My Way using the same character of Father O'Malley for Bing Crosby to play before Bells of St. Mary's was even produced. So when Going My Way came out in 1944, it was nominated for 10 Academy Awards and won 7 of them in 1945. Production on Bells of St. Mary's started the day after that Oscar ceremony in 1945, when McCarey won for writing and directing, and Crosby won for the role of Father O'Malley, and new co-star Ingrid Bergman won for her role in Gaslight. So in 1945, Bells of St. Mary's goes into production, and then that gets nominated for Best Picture, along with another nomination for Crosby and more nominations for McCarey in directing and writing, and another nomination for Bergman following up on her Gaslight nomination. Now, each of these films was the highest grossing film for the studio that released them at that time. Going My Way for Paramount and The Bells of St. Mary's for RKO. Although Going My Way is now owned by Universal and The Bells of St. Mary's is now owned by Paramount. So as I said, there's 18 nominations for these 2 films over the length of the 2 films, and 8 wins, although Bells of St. Mary's only won the 1 award, which was for Best Sound Recording, along with Picture, Actor, Actress, Director, Music, Best Song, and Best Editing. So, a strange situation with these 2 films happening nearly simultaneously, although the second film inspired the first film to be made before the second was even in production. But good films anyway. Bing Crosby, as you've noticed from our recommendations, often comes up in these classic film recommendations as a star that we love to see around the Dryden Theater. Ingrid Bergman, of course, a classic, and you may or may not know that Bergman spent a couple of years in Rochester living before she went to Hollywood and became a star. So, Bells of St. Mary's, if you want to watch that, is streaming on the Roku channel. If you want to catch up with Going My Way, that is available for rental at several of your different digital retailers. So please enjoy these. There is a small Christmas segment in the Bells of St. Mary's, so you can have a little bit of a holiday cheer along with that one as well. Come back for our other 1945 recommendations, and we'll see you again soon.